guys, it's MynnuB, and it has been a while since I've posted anything on this channel, let alone a speed paint, so this one is certainly overdue. So just as a bit of a prelude before I get into the speed paint, the last time I uploaded here, I was fresh out of college, I was acclimating into a new job, and I was and currently am working on a passion writing project, if you will. It has to do with some OCs of mine that have actually made an appearance on this channel before. I've been meaning to talk about it for a while, but I do want to make that full reveal in another video, which will hopefully be my next video here, if I'm brave enough. Also, as a disclaimer, I had to redo Victor's face. It wasn't looking Oscar Isaac enough for me, so you'll see a jump cut to a whole new face for Victor later on in the video, just to point it out. Oh, and if you hear cars passing by or leaves crunching, I'm in my car recording this. It's just kind of the only time I can get a recording in, so that's just FYI. But now that I got that intro out of the way, I need to talk about Guillermo Del Toro's Frankenstein. I love this film. Like, I read Mary Shelley's novel, I'd say, at least 2 or 3 times in my life, and it became one of my favorite books, if not my favorite book. And after having watched Del Toro's stop-motion Pinocchio film a few years ago, which I also have a speed paint for, by the way, I'll add the link here somewhere, he mentioned he'd always wanted to do an adaptation of Frankenstein, and that this last movie was kind of his test run on making Frankenstein, with themes of a creator rejecting his creation, a father rejecting his son, and that got me so excited. So when Del Toro's Frankenstein finally came out, I was sat, okay? I was gasping, I was holding back tears, I was yelling at my TV screen, I was clutching my pearls, and listen, I'm a squeamish person, right? Like, I'm squeamish. I don't like gore. I can't watch it. But I could not look away from the bodybuilding scene where Victor is, like, collecting the bodies of, like, these soldiers and chopping them up and sliding bones into flesh, and there's, like, blood everywhere, and all with this jaunty waltzy music playing, and it all leads up to the thunderstorm and that great awakening, and Victor just looks like he looks like a madman. He's climbing up the tower, he's running around fixing this and that, there's like blood on his clothes and his face, and the lightning is striking in the background. It's like, it was so visceral but so magical, and it might be my favorite scene in the film. Like, I'm so upset I never got to watch it in theaters. This was meant to be like this theatrical event, and I'm fuming to this day I never got to see it in theaters. Now, is it a faithful adaptation? No, it's not. It does lean more towards the book when you compare it to, like, the universal Hollywood version of Frankenstein, like Boris Karloff's monster, but it definitely takes some liberties. It's almost fan fiction-y in a way, but if the fan fiction was written for me, all right? So I will say it does simplify Mary Shelley's story. Like, Victor and the creature are both much more morally gray in the book. Like, both of them are assholes. Meanwhile, the film does shave off that nuance and is heavy-handed for the most part on villainizing Victor and victimizing the creature. I'm not going to say completely, because Victor's behavior does stem from childhood trauma, and he does have a redemption arc. And the creature himself, he's very violent. Like, technically he has a higher kill count in the film than he does in the book, but admittedly their dynamic is a bit more black and white in the film. Oh, and of course, Guillermo Del Toro, I mean, he put his own little spins in there. Like, Elizabeth having the hots for the creature was very, like, the shape of water, alright? Okay. But to be Mia Goth in that dress, being carried tenderly down these manor stairs by this giant, scarred gothic prince, flower petals falling around me, like, if that is not the dream, wow, okay, listen, don't settle, ladies and gentlemen and whoever, like, don't settle for less. However, the way I interpreted these changes to the source material was that Del Toro's version of Frankenstein was an active conversation with Mary Shelley's novel. Like, the changes he made, especially with the creature who... Wait, let me stop real quick to say, if you haven't watched the movie yet, it's been out for a month, I know, but if you haven't watched the film, you have to know Jacob Elordi's eyes, the creature's eyes, and his performance in general was something else, okay? Like, I was so frankenpilled after the movie. I was scraping for interviews and behind the scenes footage and fan content. In one interview, Del Toro said that he was like, when he chooses actors, he casts the eyes, and wow, did he cast Jacob Elordi's eyes. Like, he looked, you don't understand, he looked like a gnarly, ferocious behemoth wolf in one scene, and then like a docile baby deer in the next. It was something else. But anyway, let me get back on track. Oh my god. Okay, let me get back on track. Anyway, I'd argue that reading the book first and having the context of the book makes the film even more enjoyable, which I know is a controversial take, because the film takes parts of the book and portray these what could have been moments that ultimately reshape these characters. Like, what if the creature stayed with the blind man a bit longer? What if Elizabeth was more than just a perfect, saintly foil to Victor and had a sense of agency and otherness? What if Victor lived long enough to listen to and really digest the creature's story and his anguish and apologize to him instead of being a little hater? But anyway, and you have to understand, like, this, I'm obsessed with this. I'm obsessed with this movie. But anyway, to me, these choices, although they're glaring departures from the novel, almost reach out to the novel characters to say that, like, it didn't have to be this way. This could have been different for you. So I do treat the novel and the movie like two separate entities, which is how any adaptation should be interpreted anyway. And I don't think these new versions of the characters are any less compelling or heart-wrenching. Anyway, that's my mini review. I wasn't even expecting to do a review, but anyway. But now I actually want to get into the drawing itself. Like, that's the whole. So one of the other things I love, among the slew of just things I love about this film, is the religious imagery, like visually and even thematically, with touching on temptation and challenging God and the nature of the soul and ultimately the freedom that comes with forgiveness. Like, it spoke to the Catholicism in me. So with this, I was going for the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit vibe. Like, there's no denying that Del Toro went for that with not only this turbulent father-son dynamic between Victor and the creature, which has kind of always been present even in the novel, but also this dark angel that looms over Victor, subconsciously compelling him to play God and eventually leading him closer and closer to his ruin. Which, by the way, I'm not trying to commit heresy. I'm not trying to say that these dynamics are reflections of the Holy Trinity. I'm a God-fearing woman, okay? I am not doing none of that. It's just, I'm just playing with the thematics and the set of 3 thing, right? Just the set of 3. That's all it is. Now, this isn't canon to Oscar Isaac's Victor, but I wanted to give him the Bride of Frankenstein white streak in his hair. I think it's so cute, and a lot of other fan depictions of Victor that I have seen have that white streak, which in the movie even alludes to with the creature. I thought it was awesome that they gave him the white streak when he grows out his hair later in the film. Not only as a visual nod to the Bride of Frankenstein, but also further diving into the fact that he's made up of different men, and each piece that makes him has different hair and skin textures. It was so cool. Like, I think they did a really good job of portraying that. I also wanted to make an allusion to the painting of the creation, which has a big visual signature in the film. Like, it's referenced a lot. And it's this painting, a very famous painting, where God and Adam are reaching their hands out to each other. But I did that here with Victor and the creature, their hands both just out of reach, touching the battery on the creature's chest. And it's supposed to reference that, but I wanted to twist that on its head as well, because in the painting, God's finger is completely extended toward Adam, and Adam's is more lax. So it's meant to symbolize that God is actively trying to reach out for humanity, but ultimately we have the free will and the choice whether or not to reach for him in turn. But with Victor and the creature, who are God and Adam respectively, I took the opposite approach by making the creature in this case, in seeking his creator's favor and compassion, fully extend his finger toward Victor. Meanwhile, Victor doesn't reciprocate that same effort and is instead focused on his control over his creation, possessively setting his hand over the battery, seeing the creature as nothing more than a possession and flawed result of his own hubris. And even with the creature's face, I wanted to make it where one half is like sunken in and his eye is dull and pale and watery, like how it's described in the book, with a bit of a nod to Boris Karloff's Dead-Eye Monster look. All the while, with his other half, where Victor is like cradling his head, the creature's expression is completely disarmed and innocent, even a bit naive, as he like instinctively leans toward his hand, aching for the affection of his maker despite knowing he'd never grant it. Wow, okay. I just made myself really sad over this, okay? It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. But anyway, here's the final result. Okay, wow. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I thoroughly hope you enjoyed it. Guillermo Del Toro's Frankenstein has me on a chokehold. It instantly became one of my favorite movies ever. I love it. It's great. And I needed an excuse to talk about it. So thank you for listening to me drone on about it while I drew this piece. It was seriously therapeutic getting all that out of my chest. And like I said, I will talk about that passion project that I mentioned earlier in the video. I promise I will get to that. And I will try to make that video as soon as I can, because it really is long overdue. But please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested, all my links are in the description as well, if you'd like to see more content. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!